Asian Americans here in Minnesota and across the country are reeling after a mass shooting in Atlanta left 8 people dead. 6 of the victims were Asian women. 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long admitted to opening fire at 3 different spas last night. He was captured on his way to Florida, where police believe Long planned to continue his rampage. Long told investigators the attack was about his sex addiction. But the killings come as anti-Asian attacks have increased exponentially since the COVID pandemic began. Hate crimes against Asian Americans jumped 150% over the past year. A new report from the group Stop AAPI Hate found there were about 4,000 racially motivated attacks across all 50 states, 42 of those cases here in Minnesota.
Well, here at home, Governor Tim Walz is calling on Minnesotans to stand in solidarity with our Asian American community. Danny Spiewak spoke with business owners and community leaders about what can be done to help.
Even as police around Atlanta investigate a motive, the shootings have disturbed Asian American communities in the Twin Cities, including Hmong Village Shopping Center in East St. Paul.
Why? Why picking on us? Why Asian?
General Manager Thomas Herr met Wednesday with St. Paul police, who say they're increasing patrols.
Something like this can't happen to any community.
Attacking salon workers, where he knew the majority of them would be women, is deeply disturbing.
Cabal Genrick also owns a business in the Twin Cities and says police and local governments need to be more involved.
It feels like a boiling point into the uptick of crimes against Asian Americans that have been happening all over the country.
Community leaders say rhetoric casting blame on them for COVID-19 has only made things worse.
Since the pandemic started, the Department of Human Rights here in Minnesota says that about 7% of calls to a COVID-19 hotline have been related to anti-Asian American incidents.
For some, that hotline for COVID-19 bias is a start, but can't fix everything.
For me, that's reactive, and as these crimes are climbing, it's an unacceptable solution. Reaction is unacceptable anymore.
In Minnesota, several state and local lawmakers issued statements. St. Paul police tweeted that Chief Axtell communicated with leaders about concerns, although they have no reports of threats.
Something like this, we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that problems like this does not happen in the Twin City area.
Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.
And St. Paul police say their officers are making more trips to schools, businesses, and neighborhoods with higher Asian American populations as a precaution.